don't care how hard you try, there are certain things that you're just never going to make sense. They're just never going to make sense. Today I want to talk more on masks on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host, I'm Kurt, and today is Friday, the 15th of October of 2021. Welcome to everyone who's here on Rumble and the podcast on YouTube. And again, we're going to talk on the subject today of more on masks. I'm going to go ahead and go through my notes real quick, and this will give you an idea what I am talking about, and particularly how there are certain things that just don't make any sense. And I'll get more into this obviously after I finish the notes, but I do want to get through the notes. You're sitting in your workplace. Your company has decided that mask wear at your desk is unnecessary. You must still wear it while traveling among your fellow workmates. Does that really sound reasonable to you? As you sit at your desk, the smell of someone's lunch wafts into your little area. Your stomach rumbles as it permeates your small cube. How big are the spice particles from that curry, goulash, or stew? One thing I think we can definitely say, they're much larger than the virus for which you're wearing that mask. This would all be bad enough if you couldn't still smell that food as you walk around in your mask. The end of the day at the workplace chimes. You get up and walk out of your building. When you hit the exit, if you're like a ton of folks, you remove your mask as quickly as possible. You ditch it, it goes away. True, you're now outside. That said, when you take your children to the local playground, you're still probably close to others. Then comes Sundays or Saturdays, football game, or whatever other event that you attend in person. At many such events, particularly in certain states, masks aren't just optional, they're basically non-existent. Are you beginning to see a problem? I hope so. This is what I'm trying to get to happen, is for you to recognize the total silliness of what's currently going on in not just American society, but frankly probably around the world. Look, you sit in your workplace, you're sitting there without your mask, you're breathing in and out, people's food is making smells that waft into your little area. Do you suppose that it's possible that the aerosol breath coming out of those people's mouths is also coming into your little area? Do you suppose that's possible? I certainly would think so. You're walking in the office area and you're smelling people's food as you're walking around with your mask on. Wait. With your mask on, you're smelling other people's food. Is it because it's an ill-fitting mask? Is it because it's a cloth mask? Is it what? We don't know. We don't know the reason, but we know this. You can still smell their food. Okay? As somebody said, you smell the fried chicken at the deli of the local supermarket, and you know at that point that mask probably isn't helping at that point. Okay? Then you go to some event or some place where nobody else is wearing a mask. The fact that you wear a mask when you're in the workplace supposedly protects the people in the workplace, but what we've just heard indicates that that's probably not the case. Now, can I say with any certainty, and am I trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't do directly here? No. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to get you to think. That's all I'm trying to accomplish today. And if it gets me in trouble, I guess it gets me in trouble. But I don't like people around me who don't think. I don't like that. I don't want that sort of person around me. I'm sorry, but if that's a problem for you, you've got a problem then. Or I do, or we do, or however you want to look at that. But my point is this. You're not going to convince me that that piece of cloth or worse material that you're putting on your face through which food smells come, through which you can smell, and I'm going to gross you out for just a second, what's going on in the bathroom when you go to the bathroom and you're wearing your mask there. Now, you know that this is true if you've ever been inside a bathroom and somebody was particularly smelly. And I'm not trying to be rude or mean, I'm just trying to tell you what is. If you can smell that, the particles that are coming to you, that are bringing those smells to you, are much larger than the germs, viruses, and so forth that you will get that will cause you to have various kinds of sicknesses. And again, then you go sit at your desk and you take off your mask. And as far as it goes, you know that particularly if you're fairly close to other people, there's a good chance that the various aerosol spray out from their breathing in and out. Just normal breathing in and out, not even coughing or sneezing. Forget that. Just breathing in and out is going to come your way. And here's the thing. Everybody knows that if you sneeze, you're sick. No, of course that's not the case. People sneeze because some particulate matter gets in their nose and makes them do so. They want to expel whatever it is that got in their nose, right? That makes sense. So we're not just talking about people sneezing because they're ill. So you can't just say about everybody who sneezes, oh, you can't be in the workplace. You can't do that. And therefore, if a person sneezes and they're asymptomatic and it causes spread, and I don't know, I've heard that that's not really a thing, that asymptomatic spread is not really a thing. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not smart enough to answer that. But if they're beginning to have the onset of symptoms and they sneeze and they're sitting at their desk, are you really protected? And I don't mean, again, I'm not trying to tell people what to do or what not to do. But right now, the assumption is if you get the COVID-19 vaccinations, you can still get COVID-19. And let me just tell you something, this doesn't surprise me. It doesn't even surprise me that you can spread COVID-19 after having gotten the vaccine. That doesn't surprise me, I'm sorry. Vaccinations are supposed to reduce your seriousness of symptoms by your getting them. That's what they're supposed to do. And that's when they work right. And I'm going to say this again. If you look at the status of the COVID-19 vaccinations, only one is approved, supposedly, and I'm not even sure that's true. But where the others are coming up on approval, only one is approved in the United States, out of all of those vaccines. And let's face it, as I've said before, if mumps took 4 years to do a vaccine study on to decide whether or not it should be released to the general public, we're nowhere near that place where the COVID-19 vaccinations are concerned. That's a problem to me. But all of that having been said, what we do know at this point is, even if you can say that COVID-19 vaccinations have been tested appropriately, even if you can say that, the reality is people who get the vaccinations are not just getting COVID, but in fact they are experiencing sufficient symptoms for it to be questionable whether the vaccine is helping them at all. But what we know for sure is, let's say it is. Let's say just for a second that it is. What we do know is it appears that people with COVID-19 are getting COVID-19 vaccinations are getting COVID-19, and it appears that they're spreading it to others. And again, if you don't believe that, look at Israel, where some ungodly portion of the population, some 80 or 90+% of the population is supposedly vaccinated, and tell me all about how that's not the case. Now, let's get back to our original topic, and that's the topic of masks. I don't know how much surgical masks help. They may be just, what's the word I want? Almost placebo in their effect. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to answer that. I think probably it's more important that doctors, nurses, and others, anesthesiologists and so forth, wash their hands and maybe wear gloves and have people glove them who can do so in a reasonable way. Then I think that's more important than if a doctor or nurse or whatever doing an operation wears a mask. But I'm relatively certain that we can say, considering how much COVID-19 has spread, that people with masks are spreading COVID-19. And I'll take that a step further. If you say that that's not the case, then people start to slack off on the masks, and the next thing you know, COVID spikes are occurring again. So apparently COVID is still staying around, even if people are masking, and it's protecting them. And I'm really questioning whether or not that's the case. All right, I need to go ahead and wrap up today. This is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Friday, the 15th of October of 2021. It means tomorrow will be Saturday, the 16th of October of 2021. Remember, for a lot of folks, it's the beginning of the Sabbath today at sundown, and they will be doing their Sabbath thing tomorrow as well. So keep that in mind. Thank you for everyone who's been here on Rumble and the podcast on YouTube. The subject for today has been more on masks. And tomorrow we're going to talk about government account monitoring. We're talking particularly about bank accounts. And I want to bring up a few interesting ideas about this most recent foray into additional monitoring of bank accounts. I hope that you're having a good day today. Hope everything is going well for you this Friday and that you're slowly moving towards the weekend and that that's a good thing for you. If you're moving towards the weekend but end up working, I'm going to say it again. I, if nobody else, and I think you're going to find a lot of people do, appreciate the fact that you are at work on the weekend. I thank you greatly for being there. I know that it's no fun for you, and I hope at some point you'll end up in a position where maybe you don't have to do that unless you like doing it. Again, I hope everything is going well for you, though, and hopefully we will see you again on Saturday's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video was recorded on Friday, the 15th of October of 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, and maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S. .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.